The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Sciforror Film Podcast. I am here, Andy Walker. I'm here with Badger as usual. Hello, Badger. How you doing?
How's it going? Yeah, I'm really good, thanks. How's it going your end? You all right?
Yeah. I'm just about recovering from the marathon of the Romford Horror Film Festival.
I've been there. I've been to see 24-hour film festivals and things like that. Anime, horror, I've been there, so I know exactly what you're going through.
It's great fun, and it's a really good festival to go to, but it is quite tiring if you know.
Yeah, I mean, some of the ones I've been to, they were really accommodating. They were giving away free Red Bull and popcorn and things like that. But that was back in the day. I don't know.
You don't get freebies like that. But no, it's not bad. I mean, price wise, it's not bad, and there's things there, and there's lots of food discounts you can get if you're wearing the sort of pass for the festival. You can get discounts on some of the food places in the mall. So it's pretty good. Okay, this is going to take a bit of doing, but
let's do this.
I'll try and report back as best I can. So we'll start off with day one, which they called Thirst Day. Thursday. So I don't know whether to go with the films I didn't see first, through the list of them first, and then to go on to the things I did see. That may be I don't know. Maybe that's the best way to do it.
I think so. Let's do that.
Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. So day one, the films I missed. Holocaust 2000, which is a 1977 Italian film starring Kirk Douglas. Archai, I think it's pronounced, which is a new independent film from Italy. Debone, which is another new independent film from South Korea. All the Colors of the Dark, which is a 1972 film, Italian horror film. What Have They Done to Your Daughter, which is a 1974 Italian horror film. The Damnation, which is a new independent film from Canada. Okay. Friday the 13th. The 1980 version. Again, I still haven't seen Friday the 13th. I didn't get to see
You must.
So it's just kind of like another one of those films that lots of people expect me to have seen that I never have.
Because it's one of those things that, even though it's the first one, it's probably one of the most original out the series, apart from Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
So, and obviously you've got Jason X, where they spice it up and he goes to future and things like that. But honestly, the first one's iconic because it's completely different to a lot of them, The
weird thing is, I've seen the reboot or the remake of it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the original one.
Yeah, it's like a soft reboot remake. And the original old school one with Kevin Bacon and all that sort of stuff is, really stands out.
Yeah.
And it's ironic that Jason is obviously an icon in horror, sort of like, as a big serial killer and a big sort of slasher film icon, but yet the first one, the actual quality of the film, is better than the ones with Jason in. So it's quite ironic.
The thing is, I don't know why it kind of happened, but there was a definite thing when I was younger. There was a kind of split. You were either into Halloween or Friday the 13th. And I was always very much in the Halloween camp, so I never bothered with
Yeah.
I didn't bother watching it,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I would say that the first Friday the 13th is along the quality of The Burning. You've seen
All
that?
right,
Yeah. Obviously with less synth.
fair enough.
But yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I'd say the first Friday the 13th is on par with The Burning.
okay, fair enough. I will watch it one day. Right,
I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna make you.
the, the next one is The House of Abraham, which is a new independent film from the USA, which apparently I was talking to Spencer Hawking, the man who organises it all. He was saying that that was a film that he personally had a lot of people saying to him that they really liked.
All
So
right.
if you can find it, it might be worth checking it out.
Mm.
Next one was a retro one, Troll 2, which is the 1990 film from Italy. It's also known as Goblins, I think.
Okay.
Uh, then another retro one called What Have You Done to Solange, which is an Italian film from 1972. A new independent film called The Sunset Strip Killers, which is from the from the USA. So they were all the ones I didn't get to see. And three short films, one called True Love Waits, one called The Angel, and another one called Flyover, because they were all on with the feature films that I didn't get to see. So
Yeah. I mean, like we were saying before we went on air, it literally was impossible for you to be in three places at once.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, it was on like four or five different screens at different times, and things are being shown at the same time. So it's impossible to watch everything, all in one go. But I tried as much as possible to watch as many short films as I could. So, because I think that they don't get as much kind of coverage from things.
Mm.
So, first short thing I saw, period, they did whole blocks of short films.
Wow.
The first film was called Cringe. Uh, it's very good. It kind of like starts off with a kind of almost like a blind date. There's a kind of misunderstanding. It's funny. It starts ordinary, but then it gets funny and then silly, and it's quite good in the misunderstandings that become kind of like that they get out of hand and people end up dying and
Oh.
so but it's quite funny and quite good. I really liked that one. There
Mm.
was a film called Rot, which is very odd. Um it's kind of guy finds this black gloop in his flat that kind of takes over him.
All right.
It's strange.
Mm.
Dark Palette, which is the next one, which is a film about an artist who's doing a painting of a dead woman, but it needs to be done in the church, apparently, and then it's like goes into it's got a bit of a decent jump scare in it, and
Yeah.
it's
It
not
reminds
bad.
me of I think I can't remember if it's Edgar Allan Poe or not, but it reminds me of a sort of short story where he sort of forces his wife to sort of be painted, and then before he knows it, he's literally painting her, her like her corpse pretty much, because
All
he's
right,
forcing her to sort of very much reminds me of that sort of thing. Or there's a game called Layers of Fear that's very similar to that. So,
right,
if you like sort of independent cinema that sort of takes ideas from games, Layers of Fear, the very first one, very much like that. You're an insane artist going around your house collecting all bits of body parts to use on a painting.
lovely.
Yes.
Uh, mm,
A very interesting psychological horror.
yes.
Mm.
The next one I saw is called Love Machine. This is humorous, but it's for a certain type of humor. It's about a woman who tries a sex robot that goes wrong.
Yeah.
She has to fight him off with a giant dildo. So, it's quite funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know. I think they are going to attempt something mainstream like that. They're going to do a Megan one.
right.
Where, yeah, where it's like it's not going to be Megan, but it's going to be another robot. It's in that universe. So they've beaten them to the punch on the full screen. Yeah,
Quite literally beaten them to.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Next,
Dildos at the ready.
next one was called For Sale. It's a good effect. So there's a couple getting shown around a flat that basically the flat feeds off the people eating, viewing it. So it's quite good.
Is that a Japanese one or?
No, no, it was I can't remember where it came from actually. Let me have a look. No, it's an English one.
Oh, right, because
That's from England, yeah.
obviously, I think we talked about it before. How a lot in Chinese and Japanese culture, a lot of their horror comes from the building being possessed, doesn't it? And sort
Yeah.
of, so it'd be interesting having an English sort of take on that.
It's quite it was quite good and the effects were very well done. It was very,
Mm.
very good that.
What was that called?
It was called For Sale.
I'll have a look, see if I can find it. Yeah.
Let me see. Yeah, Barney Pell Scholes and Thomas Harnett O'Meara were the
Mm.
makers.
I'll have a look, see if I can find it somewhere.
The next one was called In. I didn't. It's a very strange film, very odd camera effects. It's just I don't know how to explain it really. It's got lots of very strange sounds and
Mm.
very odd camera effects, and there's a group of people in it that kind of weird things happen to. And I didn't really get it, I don't think.
Oh.
Maybe it wasn't for me. I don't know. The next one is I went on the first day with my mate Charlie, and this was one of his favourite films of the day. It was a film called Chicken Feed.
All right.
It starts off with this guy making a smoothie, and he puts I think four whole eggs into this protein smoothie he's making, and then later on gets attacked by a chicken. Uh, but the thing is that the chicken that attacks him is basically is actually a stuffed toy. So
Oh,
it was
okay.
quite bizarre, but quite funny.
Mm.
There's a thing called Housewife, which is a bit odd. There's a woman sorting their house out and putting stuff in a loft extension. There's a doll's house that turns into a woman. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm. There's one. There were some very dark subject matters and things covered in some of these films. There was one called "Don't Cross the Line," which has, I mean, it could be triggering to some people because it does have this guy. He's in his garage, and he's kind of cutting his arms up and that sort of thing, and ends up killing his wife. But it's quite dark,
Yeah.
um, but interesting, and the effects are brilliant. The effect, yeah, the effects of the cutting and that sort of thing is really well done. But it
Yeah.
is a bit, you know,
Yeah.
it's a bit intense. I think if you're not ready for it, it could have been quite sort of
Really.
jarring.
Oof, yeah. But
Uh,
that's part of it, though, isn't it? The
yeah,
reaction. You know, obviously, there should be a warning on it when it goes out. But I think sometimes, like we've seen that other film the other week, and that was very much, woo, you know, we didn't really know what we were going into with that, and
yeah,
that made it all the more dramatic. You know.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. There was one called Hello, which is kind of a bit like I don't. There was a person, if you like, who was there was a guy there, and there was a person who kind of appeared to him. And the interesting thing about that was the idea of like what she did to herself happened to him.
Okay.
So it's like sort of she sort of bites one of her fingers off and his finger disappears.
Okay. Like she was like a voodoo doll sort of thing.
Yeah, but it was very interesting the sort of idea of her what she did affected him, and I thought that was very good,
Mm.
very clever thing of doing. Where are we? Oh yeah, the next one was called Surprise, which quite is what it says. Basically, it's a guy who I think you get the impression that he thinks his girlfriend's having an affair, so he
Mm.
goes after the bloke that he thinks she's having the affair with, and then goes home and finds out that what it is they've been planning a surprise birthday party for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine how
Um,
that goes.
Then there was a film which was one of my favourites, I must say, and I will be interviewing the one of the lead actors in this. It was called A Mormon's Guide to Home Invasion.
Oh, okay.
It's a comedy horror. It's brilliant. It's got Cassandra Haswell in it. And it basically it's it's your typical kind of Mormon guy going around, knocking on people's doors saying, "Have you thought about Jesus?" No, it's got anything, and he gets invited in by Cassandra's character, who is a non-binary occultist, um, and it's sort of like
Okay.
the the the,
Yeah.
the fun that ensues between the pair of them from
Yeah,
that.
that sounds fun.
It is really good. I really like that. So that was the first lot of shorts I saw. There were some really good ones. There's a few I wasn't sure about, but there were some good ones. Then I got to see a new independent film from America called Carry the Darkness.
Mm,
The director for this is Douglas Forrester. I was interested in this because it's set in 1993
mm.
in the USA, right at the peak of the satanic panic thing that went on in the 90s.
Okay.
So, it's got all of this stuff at the beginning. You've got clips and that shots of TV programs and of magazine articles and newspaper articles blaming, uh, horror films and heavy rock music and computer games for the rise of Satanism and all these kids turning away from the church and all this sort of thing. And it's got one of the main character in it is a guy who was, because he was into those sort of things, was
Yeah.
blamed for the death of somebody in town and did a
Okay.
couple of years in prison for it. Um, and then it goes on. It's kind of um, they go to this place, and it's kind of there's drawn into this thing where there's like technology which is being used to control people, and you don't know whether it's a demon. You think it's a demon, and you're not sure, and then it is. And what I mean. The thing about it is,
Yeah.
it was a it was a good story, and it was well
Mm.
made, but it's incredibly slow,
Right.
and you don't really. I didn't feel like it really had a great ending to it. It wasn't
Yeah.
bad, but it
No.
was like sort of. I wasn't didn't come away from it feeling very satisfied at the end of it.
Uh, we've been there before. I mean, that sort of thing reminds me of like cyberpunk, and
Yeah,
that's that whole fusion of evil with technology and all that sort of stuff. I'm getting that vibe. I mean, I don't think you've ever seen it, but Halloween 3, it definitely reminds me of
no,
that, where the masks have got chips in and they control, and they're
yeah,
going to
yeah,
explode overnight, and there's robots, and there's all this sort of stuff where they're harnessing the power from Stonehenge and using it electronically to create the end of the world and things like that. So those sort of stories are not new, but they're certainly less than you think. So
I was interested by the fact that it had this, as I say, this character who was the kind of victim of this whole satanic panic thing. Um, and it was kind of like, and it kind of led on from there. That would see to me was a really interesting idea.
mm,
But I just felt it was incredibly slow. It took ages to actually get to anything that you felt was going anywhere. And then at the end of it, it was all a bit sort of, you know.
yeah, it's a
But
shame. It's a
yeah,
shame when they end like that.
there was a short film on with that called Hide, which I really liked. It's about, you don't quite know what they're hiding from, but everybody, there's just sort of like a siren goes off and everybody hides in their houses, but they hide inside cupboards because whatever it is can get into the house, that sort of thing. And this guy is making sure his daughter is safe and that sort of thing. And then he ends up basically sacrificing himself for her,
Mm,
to whatever this thing is that kind of takes him. It was
mm.
it was good. It was well done and it was good. It was a kind of a long short film, if you like. But
Yeah, I know what you mean.
it wasn't too bad. I thought it was really well done. It was really good idea, a good story. The next lot of short films I watched, the first one of these is called Asmodeus. Now, this was it is from Italy.
Mm.
Okay, it starts off with a satanic ritual style thing with some monks in a graveyard. Um, and they are chanting and worshipping this cross, which has an electric fan on the top of it,
Right, okay.
which starts working. Um,
Unusual.
yeah, and then yeah, it's the after that it's sort of like it goes to these people going to this holiday home, and yeah, they're being watched. You know, they're being watched by something. Um, and then this fan turns up. Interestingly, the blades of the fan are done. They almost look like sort of like knife blades,
Right.
thing like that. And this electric fan turns up and starts killing them. One guy gets strangled by the power cord, and the other people get sliced apart by the fan. And then this priest turns up and fights it off, and they bury it, and then somebody else finds it sort of years later. It's a very bizarre idea and
Yes.
very bizarre film, and it's also quite long for a short film. It is incredibly long.
Yeah.
I was thinking, what's going to happen? You know, it
The
was,
demonic fan.
yeah, very strange.
I'm getting killer sofa vibes. you know.
It's weird.
Mm.
There you go. Next one was called Inebriated. This was interesting. It was this woman has a bloke tied up, and he's kind of like obviously you think he may be possessed or whatever, and she's trying to do this thing of transferring the possession from him to somebody else. For me, what I found interesting is the fact that well, it had some people in it that I knew. There were two of the actors in it have been in
Mm.
loads of TV stuff, so you'll know them. But the interesting thing for me is the fact that she is an ex-addict. The guy she's got tied up as a boyfriend who is an addict. And I kind of I don't know if it's supposed to be like this, but I kind of got it as a sort of a thing where they're kind of drawing a line between addiction and possession, demonic possession.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of thought that was what they were trying to sort of get across. It was interesting effects and the great, interesting story, but it was kind of okay,
Mm.
you know. Um, Next one, this is weird. There's a film called Gumboro.
Okay.
I have absolutely no idea what this film was about.
Oh no.
Guy was being shown around the apartment. He was moved into the apartment. There's a bit where a pigeon flies into the apartment, and there's pigeons in the apartment above. He cuts his hand, and they don't know what's going on. Um, there's lots of strange noises and all sorts of weird things. And there was a room that's locked, and then all of a sudden it's not locked. And yeah, no idea to be honest. The thing about it was that it's a Greek film with no subtitles.
Oh
So
dear.
I had no idea what was going on at all because I couldn't understand anything that anyone was saying.
Yeah.
And it was all just kind of lots of really interesting imagery. And
Okay.
I don't know what the story was supposed to be.
No.
So, yeah. Uh, uh,
Oh.
the next film was a film called Pleased to Kill You, which is something, it's an interesting idea, something I've thought about before, where this guy he's going around to different people's houses and knocking on their doors, and then he's going in and killing them.
Mm.
And he knocks on the door of this guy who's another serial killer.
Oh, right.
So it's the two serial killers coming
Yes.
face to face. I thought that was a really good idea, and it works really well.
Interesting. So that one's one to worth watching then.
Yeah, Pleased to Kill You, definitely. Yeah, I thought it was worth watching. There's one called Lead Us Not, which was interesting. It's almost like three short films linked together,
Mm.
and it's all about giving in to temptation. And there's one set in an antique shop where people are robbing it. There's one with a guy, a farm with his wife. His wife, he's looking for his wife because I think it's about her cheating on him or something like that. Um, and then the last one is about a band where uh, this the ex-singer looks like he's going to kill the guy who's taken over from singing him, but they decides not to.
Mm.
But all the way through, there's this kind of like mummy-like creature which is kind of there,
Okay.
sort of overseeing what's going on because it's kind of like he is kind of like when you give in to temptation, you give yourself to this creature effectively.
Okay. Yeah. Mm.
So that was you know. Next one was another interesting one called Killer Gotchi.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts off with basically like a computer games advert with your kids watching it, and this computer game is basically a Tamagotchi type thing, but it's one that feeds on blood and things.
Right.
And it looks very interesting, but again, that was from Spain actually, even though it comes across as being almost like a Japanese type thing. Uh,
Mm.
it's quite odd, but the thing about it is that again there were no subtitles,
Oh.
so I could only go what I could see rather
Mm.
than what I knew was going on.
Right. Okay. Which is a
Yeah.
shame.
Yeah, it looked interesting, but I wasn't absolutely sure I understood exactly what was happening.
Maybe that's something to bring up with the festival next time. Is that they need to put the subtitles.
Yeah, the ones that haven't got subtitles, they either need to put closed captions on, or they need to impress on people the need for subtitles as it's going to be shown to an English speaking audience.
Mm.
Um, what we got there? The next one was called Itch, which oh yeah, she basically this woman goes for a blind. I'm really quite miffed. She goes to I think it's the second date maybe or whatever, but she goes to this guy's house and he still lives with his mother. And then I mean the obvious thing happens, which is she goes into the wrong room and finds that his mother is actually no longer with us.
Very Norman Bates.
Yeah, something like that. Um, then there was a film called The Tenant, which is about a woman who's had a row with her boyfriend and goes to stay in a like an Airbnb. But there's somebody or something else in the
Mm.
Airbnb with her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's not bad. It wasn't a bad film. It was not totally original, but it was very well done and the effects were quite good. So, it goes.
Reminds me of Barbarian. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't, but
Oh,
I've heard a
that's
lot
definitely
about
one
it.
to watch. Yeah. If you've not seen Barbarian, I'd definitely recommend it. It's but that is once again, I wouldn't say trigger warning worth, but definitely squeamish worth.
Fair
Be
enough.
ready to cringe and you go, ugh, you know.
The next one was called Daniel's Room. It's about a woman going back to her family home, which is being sold up and that sort of thing, and her memories and that sort of thing. And she goes there, and her brother Daniel is in the house, but it turns out he's a ghost.
Mm.
Yeah. There's quite a strange one, a very short one called Cadaverous, which was in black and white, which made a nice change.
Mm.
I didn't understand what was going on. It was kind of this woman was putting books on a shelf, which then some of them threw themselves off the shelves, and there were these strange noises, and I think it was supposed to be a ghost, but I'm not absolutely sure.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't bad, but it was
I
very
mean,
short and it was
yeah.
okay.
Well, cadaver is like a dead, like a really gross dead body, isn't it? It's like a
Yeah,
yeah. Did it, did it have anything to do with dead body?
not that I could see, no.
Hmm.
I don't really know what that's about. The next film was a mainstream, very mainstream film, brand new film out called Cold Storage.
Yes,
It's
we've
now
been
out in
talking
the
about
cinema
this.
now.
Yeah.
Cast of this is Joe Keery, Georgina Campbell, Liam Neeson, Leslie Manville, Daniel Rigby, and Vanessa Redgrave. Quite bizarre casting. The director is Johnny Campbell. I really liked this film. It's a comedy horror with sort of sci-fi elements to it and that sort of thing. Um, what I like is the fact that I mean I haven't seen the newest God, I can't remember how it's called now. The police squad thing,
Oh yeah, Naked Gun.
Naked Gun. I haven't seen the latest one, the new one, but I
Yeah,
get the feeling it's a similar sort of thing to that. He is funnier
yeah.
because it is played absolutely straight.
I
Liam Neeson plays it absolutely as a straight down
really
the line action
wow,
movie.
wow. And it's got the guy from Stranger Things in it, isn't it?
Yeah,
I don't remember
yeah.
his name, but yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. It's really good. I mean, basically, you've got two younger people who are working in this storage place. And Liam Neeson and Leslie Manville play people who have dealt with this alien fungus thing before,
Mm,
and they get sent in to deal with it. Um, but yeah, especially Liam Neeson and Leslie Manville, but almost all the cast play it absolutely so straight
mm,
that you know there are a few comedic lines from the two younger people and that
mm.
that sort of thing, but most of it is just sort of like straight kind of action movie, which is brilliant. I
Wow.
really loved it.
Obviously I haven't seen it yet, but I do get Evolution vibes,
Well, no, it's
David Duchovny.
it kind of reminded me more of Return of the Living Dead.
Okay.
I know it isn't zombies, but it's kind of this fungus that takes over the bodies of these people, and it is, yeah, it kind of reminded me a bit of that. It had that kind of feel to it. Um, but what I loved is the fact that Vanessa Redgrave plays this woman who goes into she's got a storage unit, and she goes in there and falls asleep. But she's got all her dead husband's stuff in there, including a gun. And at some point in the film, for no particular reason, she hears the shooting outside, comes outside and shoots this bloke in the head. And it's like, I've never seen Vanessa Redgrave in a film like this. But
Brilliant.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good film, really worth a look.
Mm. Oh, I'll definitely give it a look then.
Okay, next short film was called The Pearl Comb. This apparently has been shortlisted for an Oscar,
Mm.
and it's set in Cornwall in 1893. It's got a great look to it. It's kind of folk horror. It's about mermaids, that sort of thing. Excellent effects, especially the creature effects. My only problem with it
Mm.
is like a few films that I saw over this weekend. I looked at the effects and I thought they look really great. Are they AI?
Oh, right.
And I
Yeah.
know it's terrible that you have to start thinking that way because I don't like AI. I don't
No,
want to watch AI.
no.
But I know that there are some people out there using it, and it's difficult to tell sometimes whether it is or not.
Mm.
But I thought it was a good film.
I think now they have to blatantly say if they're using AI, they have to put it in the description of the film and things like that.
Yeah, I think
So,
so. I don't
you'll have
know.
to look at the description on the reviews and stuff because they have to say if they're using it now.
Yeah, but it was good, and the effects were great, and the acting was really good as well. I thought it was a really good film.
Mm.
Uh, there's one called The Resonance, which is supposedly based on true story of psychoanalysis to do with possession. I don't know if it's just sort of like, it's one of those based on a true story just for this story. You know what I mean? It's not
I know what
really
you mean.
based on.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just a woman listening to audio cassettes of the interviews that were done with this person who was supposedly possessed, and then she gets taken over herself.
Oh, okay. What,
Uh,
because of the tapes?
yeah.
Very Evil Dead. Very Evil Dead. Yes.
The last film I saw on the first day, I have to say, was one of my favourites of the weekend, the whole weekend. It was a new independent film called Severed Road.
Okay.
The director is Benjamin L. Brown. This is a good, old-fashioned, old-style slasher movie.
Oh, lovely.
Group of friends go away to a place in the country for the weekend. They decide to have this silly race through the countryside, and they come across this kind of mountain man who is just a psychopath, basically.
Okay.
Um, but one of the good things about it, one of the things I really did like, I mean, the effects are really good, and the kills were brilliant. They were done really well, and the character was great. Yeah, the mountain man was excellent. But what I did like is the fact that there's a bit where this woman, one of the women, runs out of the forest, and there's a truck coming down the road,
Hmm.
and she waves the truck down. And the guy gets out of the truck, and as soon as I got out of the truck, I thought, "Oh, hang on a minute, that's Kane Hodder."
Oh, really? Awesome.
Yeah, and I thought, "Is he working with the Mountain Man? Because he sort of goes around to help her into the truck, and while he's standing there at the door, while she's got in the truck, all of a sudden this massive like machete type thing comes out of nowhere and goes straight through his back and through the door of the
Oh,
truck."
wow.
He's only in it for a few seconds, but it was just like, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
No, yeah, yeah. Oh, wow. So that was a
But
nice little cameo to
yeah,
add it
it was a
in.
really good film. I really enjoyed it. As I say, it kind of took me like right back to watching like old sort of 1980s slasher movies.
Oh, so
Yeah,
that's definitely one on the list for me then.
definitely. I think you would love that film. It's called Severed Road and definitely worth checking out.
Mm.
So yeah, my favourites on that day, Severed Road and Cold Storage were favourite feature films. As far as the shorts went, Cringe, Mormon's Guide to Home Invasion, and The Pearl Comb were probably my favourite ones. Um, God, that was a long day.
Yes, yes.
That was only day one.
Wow.
I know.
Wowzers.
It gets crazy sometimes. And the thing is that outside of the films, they have like stalls and things there. They have over the weekend. They also have guests coming to sort of like you get people who are like horror film actors and things
Mm.
like that coming to sort of like sign stuff and all that kind of thing. So it's really there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, when I went the other year, we went to see Peter Rabbit, which was like a slasher sort of film, obviously based on Peter Rabbit,
Yeah.
and and I think that's on YouTube now. It wasn't before, but it's on YouTube now. And I met a lot of the stars of the film as we came out the cinema, it was like they were all standing there and asking their opinions. And I shook some hands, greased some palms, and they were very interesting people to talk to.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a lot of people there who were in the independent films and that sort of thing, but there were also guests there, people who've been in films years ago. There was a lady there who was one of the Cenobites from the Hellraiser films.
Oh wow! So some proper
Pauline,
dream queens
oh
then.
yeah, Pauline Peart, who was in some Hammer films and things like that. Um, Lawrence Harvey was there. Bless him. Uh, which people will know mainly from I think, from the Human Centipede films.
Oh,
But he's been in loads and loads of horror films and that sort of thing. But he was there, really nice guy. And there were a few other people there. There's a guy who played Superman in uh, was it Small? No, not Smallville. I can't remember. He played Superman in a recent sort of recent TV series that wasn't about Superman. Uh,
was it one of the Arrow films, like the Arrow
I'm
show?
not sure. No, I don't think so. I think it's even more recent than that.
Oh, okay.
So, but I can't remember. But yeah, there were a few people there, that sort of thing. So, okay, day two.
Mm.
The films I didn't see. God, I was upset with this actually because now, I mean, I understand that there are technical issues and there are things going on and that sort of thing, and they have to move things around time wise and things like that. Unfortunately, because of the fact that I thought one of the short film selections was going to be in a different screen to the one it was, I didn't get to see it.
Ah,
So I missed quite a few short films on this day. I was sitting in the wrong screen. There you go. But the
mm.
ones I didn't see, let's see, a film called Zeta, which is an Italian film from 1983. Some of these films I will put links up to because there are some of these that are actually on YouTube.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Not all of them, but some of them. There's a film called Inside a Spider, which is a new independent film from Russia.
Hmm.
Uh, I didn't see Razorback from 1985, Australian horror film. I've seen it before, but a long time ago.
Mm.
It's quite good from what I remember. Um, a new independent film called Lenore, which is from Australia, which I didn't get to see either. Then a 1977 Australian film called The Last Wave, which is about a lawyer defending Aboriginal people uh, who have been accused of a ritual murder.
Oh, okay. Sounds interesting.
Hmm. Uh, the next one I didn't see, Where Darkness Dwells, which is a new independent film from the USA. I didn't get to see it. I didn't bother with it. I didn't see Scanners because I've seen Scanners so many times before. It would have been nice watching it on the big screen, but
Yeah.
which is from 1981 Canada for anyone who doesn't know David Cronenberg. And where are we? 1979 Italian film called The Visitor, which is about an intergalactic warrior, apparently.
Hmm.
Don't know. Uh, then there was a mystery film which I didn't get to see, and I don't really know what that was. This one, I found out what the other one was, but I don't know what this one was. Then there was the little girl that lives down the lane,
Oh,
which
okay.
again is a 1976 film from Canada, which is a bit of a sort of slashery type thing, from what I can work out. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Then new independent film called Adorable Humans, uh, which I didn't get to see, and the new Italian horror film called Haven, which was had its premiere at the
Hmm.
festival. But I didn't know it was on until I got there that day, so I didn't get to see that. There were short films I didn't get to see: Shadow of Dawn, Appetite of a Nobody, Versipelius. No. Baby Blues, Going Dark, The Suicide Shift, Sweet Tooth,
Mhm.
Shutter Ghost, Surface Tension, Dolls, Hoax, Follow You, Fairy Tale Farm, and Crash and Burn. Some of which sound quite interesting, but I didn't get to see any of them.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
That's a shame. But
Yeah.
like I say, being in 3 or 4 different places at once is tough.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
So short films I got to see on this time. I got to see a film called A Screen in a Room. Yeah. Uh, it's- you're watching a computer and there's video from a doorbell cam and things like that. It's incredibly slow and really overlong for what it is.
Very found. Was it found footage or?
Well, no, it wasn't even that. It was just kind of like you were watching the stuff from this doorbell camera that had it sort of like almost in real time, and it was. I just thought it was a bit dull myself.
Okay.
Um,
Could have
uh,
done that with being a bit faster, you think?
yeah, it, it it took a long time to not get very far.
Okay.
Really, there was one I really liked. It's called Rock Paper Scissors Death,
Okay.
and it's basically you got two people tied or people tied up playing uh, rock paper scissors. The idea whoever loses dies, and there's
Right.
this guy who desperately wants to lose because of the fact that he's been playing it for ages and he just wants to get out, or just he's just had enough. But none of the people he's playing against believe him, so he's telling them how to win, and they don't believe him. So that was quite good.
Mm.
You got a film called The Night Watcher. It was a bit of an odd ending to it, not bad. It was about security guards working at night, and it was all done through the security cameras on the screens they're watching on and that sort of thing. As I say, it wasn't a bad film, a bit of an odd ending, but it
Mm.
didn't really do much for me. There were two films that were part of the 666 challenge. I don't know
Okay.
if you know about this.
No, no, tell us.
Okay, you have to do a short film. I think you've got 660 hours. No, that can't be right. I can't remember. But anyway, basically, you've got to make this short film within a set amount of time.
Right. Okay.
And I think they normally either give you, I think they either give you a prop and a line of dialogue, or sometimes it's just a line of dialogue, and you have to include those in the film somewhere.
Oh, okay.
The
Mm.
first one was called Exit. Uh, it's a woman wakes up with a headache and she starts hearing things and seeing things, and it's kind of like she's in therapy, sort of. It's a bit odd,
Mm.
kind of interesting, but it didn't really do much. The next one was also 666 challenges. They're called the Doll's House. Again, it's not great, but it's okay. It's a kind of doll comes to life and attacks people type of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing spectacular, but it was all right. And if you got to make it in a limited amount of time, and you're limited because you've got to include these certain things, then I suppose what do you do with it?
Yeah.
Uh,
Sometimes you know you have to remember that they've been put under this pressure. You know.
Absolutely. There was a film called Banshee. Uh, there were some good sound effects. There's some interesting filming where this woman is in a maze and she doesn't know where she's going and she's seeing things and that sort of thing. It's not bad, but again, it was a bit. It didn't really grab me, so I kind
No,
of
that
lost.
seems to be coming back a lot now. You know, a lot of horror films I've watched recently, there's been mazes in, and it's been like in estates and big houses, and you've got like the main character being lost in a maze, and it seems to be that at least 3 or 4 films I've watched in recent times. So I think that sort of thing is not been like explored enough. Really, it's like the sort of freakishness of the killer being in the maze and you're sort of trying to get out.
Yeah,
You know, it was even in a video game I played recently, actually, as well. So, I
that's
think,
not bad.
yeah, yeah. So I do actually think that's going to be a thing. Watch out for some maze-related horror films coming soon. I do actually think it's going to be a genre.
Yeah,
You know, I
why
think
not?
it's going to be a thing.
Why not? Yeah. I watched one called The Darkness Remains, which looked interesting. It's basically this guy. Uh, he's kind of like got this woman there that he's saying her evil past is catching up with her and all that sort of thing. It was odd, but it was interesting. The only problem with it was the sound was a bit muffled, so it was difficult to hear exactly what was going on some of the time. But it looked quite interesting. One I quite liked called A Drive at Dawn, which is guy his car pulls up in the middle of the desert, and these guys pull this sack out off the back of this sort of pickup truck, and they put it on the floor. They kick the crap out of it, and then they drive off.
Mm.
And the guy climbs out of the sack, but he's a vampire,
Oh, okay.
so he's just sat there in the middle of the desert as the sun comes up,
Oh.
which is quite interesting.
Mm.
There's one called The Diane Richards Tape, which is a found footage film. Okay, I've got to say here, found footage films are not my thing. I
No.
really do not like them very much.
Whereas I'm
Um,
quite the opposite. I'm quite a found footage geek.
it's okay. Uh, Typical sort of type film. Group goes missing. This this woman goes looking for them. She's got videos and she's got tapes and that sort of thing. She goes trying to find out where they are, and uh, the usual happens.
I love the fact that you're so nonchalant on it, and I'm like, yes, tell me more. I love it.
I don't know. There's a film called, the next one was a film called Amy and I, which I thought was really good. It's a dinner date basically, and um, it's this woman and a bloke at the table, that sort of thing, and they're talking, and basically from the way they're talking, it's kind of like they split up, but they're together, and then you find out he's not actually there at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Right.
uh, there's a the next one was called Silent Screams. This woman wakes up anxious. There's noises coming from the wardrobe. Her mother comes in and tells her there's nothing to worry about, and then the door shuts and a strange creature appears in the room.
Ooh, spooky.
Then there was one which was Forget Me Not, which I really liked actually. It's done by I think Samantha Ockey, I think her name is. I've met her a long time ago, but it's a very interesting idea. Um, it's about a cold case podcast. It's been done by this woman, and she's trying to sort of like she's saying she's getting evidence together against this guy who she says is a serial killer. Um, and then you find out you see the guy that she's talking about, and you find out that his nephew comes to visit him, and you find out that his nephew is getting married to the woman who's doing the podcast.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's quite an interesting.
That's an interesting one. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
nice little twist. Yeah.
it's very good.
Mm.
Okay, I then watched a feature film called "We Put the World to Sleep"
Okay.
by a guy called Adrian Taffy. Now, this is from Romania. Okay. I was told by somebody said to me, "Have you seen the last film you made? It was on," I said, "No, I missed it. It was on last year's Chester." Ah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant, really good. I went, "Oh," he said, "I'm really, yeah, looking forward to this." I thought, "Oh, okay, right, it should be good then." So I went in. Okay. This is a documentary.
Right.
Well, no, it, it says it's a documentary. It's a film done as if it is a documentary,
Mm.
but it's about two actors making an apocalyptic film. And while they're doing that, they decide that what they're actually going to do is they kind of get lost inside the characters they're playing and decide they're going to actually destroy the world.
No.
But then it kind of jumps, and you find out that none of that was true,
Right.
and that was all the film that they were making, saying what would happen if these two people got lost inside their characters and started doing this thing. And then the guy who made the film starts getting lost inside the thing he's doing now, which is about serial killers, and starts becoming obsessed with the night caller. His name Richard Ramirez.
Think so, yeah.
And does things like he's got a room which is like wallpapered with pictures of this guy that he thinks is in love with him. And it's very confusing.
Right.
By the end of it, I wasn't absolutely sure what was real, what wasn't real, what was the film, what was documentary, was any of it real? And I have no idea.
So it really played with your head. Well, that's good cinema
Absolutely.
then, in a
It
way.
was it was completely like I don't know. I really don't know.
The problem is I have with those sorts of films is sometimes it's great to have one or two twists, but when the whole film's a twist,
Yeah,
it does hurt your brain a bit. Yeah.
I came out of there thinking I have no idea what's going on now at all. I don't know what I don't know, and it's. But one of the interesting things was somebody said that, and you can watch this on the uh, Horror Festival YouTube channel. There was a question and answer thing afterwards. And one of the questions that they asked this guy was, "How can you persuade me that I'm not an actor and I'm not in a film now?"
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, don't, because a lot that's a conspiracy theories on itself, isn't it?
It was it was
We've all seen the Truman Show.
it was like 2 hours of complete mind fuck.
Yeah, was it like a weird horror version of the Truman Show? I'm getting that vibe.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't. I don't know. It was kind of psychological horror, maybe, but it wasn't horror, and it was just completely. I don't know what's going on.
Was there no resolution at the end whatsoever?
No, not really.
Right.
At the end of it, there was things like that they had to put a statement out saying that because he was saying he'd offered a thing on a Patreon thing or something of like people could pay money to go and stay in this room that was plastered with all the pictures of Richard Ramirez, and he had to put a thing out saying it's not true, it's not real. Don't keep asking because it doesn't exist.
Wow.
And it's like, ah. There was a short film with that called Ring Ring, which was quite interesting. Again, it was a little bit odd. It's about a guy who buys this old phone from a market, and he's told that he can use it to contact the dead. So he takes it home and he starts talking to his mother. It's got quite a good twist in it, but it's yeah, it's all right. It's not bad. The film after that called Delirio Cremisi. No idea what that stands for or anything, to be honest. It's Italian. It was a very odd film that I think the message of the film was don't try to get one over on gods because they'll get their own back on you.
Yeah, okay.
But it was kind of in a very strange and quite graphic way, people being slaughtered and things like that. So interesting. Well, then the next feature film I watched, what I thought really good, was from Japan called Erica. And it's interesting. It starts off with a young guy who falls for this young woman who he thinks is in an abusive relationship, and he ends up killing the guy that's abusing her, and they bury the body in the woods, as you do.
What did you do?
Yeah. And then she starts acting very odd.
Mm.
Uh, the brother of the guy that they killed comes looking for him, and they're worried about that. But she starts being completely paranoid and insane and mad, and it all spirals out of control. And she's basically a psycho.
Ah,
Um, but I thought it was really good. It's a really good film. It's kind of about, again, it's a psychological more than a, yeah, it's got a little bit of blood in it and that sort of thing, but it's mainly to do with the mind games being played and that sort of thing. I really liked that.
mm.
Um, I don't know what I've got now. Uh, Short film called The Night Never Ends. Um, hmm. Oh yeah, this was another one. This they started it and then they had to restart it because it wasn't loud enough really. It
Mm.
looked interesting, but it was very odd. There was a voiceover all the way through it. And I didn't quite understand what it was about. There was a bit in it when it seemed to be a dream in which this guy was swapping one of his eyes with a woman who was blind in both eyes so that they could both see out of one eye each. I don't know.
Unusual.
Yeah, I don't know. Um, it's one of these films that looked good, but I'm not absolutely sure what it was about. I then unfortunately watched a film called Evil for Dinner, which is, I say unfortunately, it's a cannibal film.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's quite gory at the start, and then it kind of settles into kind of a film about sort of hillbilly family and
Mm.
strange things. The humor isn't it in it isn't my kind of thing.
Uh,
It's quite American, quite well, I'll show you one of the guys they've got in it playing a supporting role is the guy who was the guy who made a lot of the films for Troma.
oh, okay.
He plays the mayor of the city, the town that they're living in. And I'm not into Troma films at all. Never have been. I mean, I could probably count about three of their films that I
Mm.
ever actually liked.
Oh, okay. Well, I did like the new Toxic Crusader film.
I haven't seen that. I
I
never
did
liked
like
the
it.
original, so I didn't.
It's one of these ones where they make out it's old school trauma, but it is more acceptable for newer viewers. I My personal favourite was Nukem High,
Yeah,
where that's actually one of my personal favourites of the trauma ones, where the obviously the toxic sludge gets infected in with the town's weed supply and
yeah, I
all
quite
sorts of
like Nukem
weird
High. I thought that was
chili
quite
and
good.
road then, you know. But
Yeah,
yeah, trauma and me have a weird relationship. It's like I like some of it and I like some of the ideas, but it's very rare that I like it as a whole, you know.
but it's got very much got that kind of humor in it, and I'm not a big fan of that. It's okay, but I don't. It wasn't really something I would really rate, to be honest with you. Uh, I saw a talk about the thing that was going on in the screen where I was one that I thought was going to be the short films, but didn't end up being that. Was two guys talking about a new book that they've brought out, which is all about the history of cannibal movies.
Okay.
So it's got things like Cannibal Holocaust and what's it called? I can't remember what they call it. There were about four or five of them they mentioned quite often.
Mm.
So but it was interesting hearing what they were saying. But I've only seen a couple of those films, so I really didn't know
Mm.
much about what they were talking about.
I
But
mean, a lot of the Cannibal Holocaust films, I
mm,
remember them being in a lot of trouble at one point because they couldn't really. They sort of had to sort of explain that none of the animals were hurt. A lot of people did think they were snuff films at the time because they
yeah,
were pretty gory.
yeah, well, that's what they were talking about is the fact that, and it was kind of played up for a while that
Yeah, it.
but then they had to come out and say, no, we said none of this is true.
Yeah. I remember, I can't remember which Cannibal Holocaust film it was, or if it was a Cannibal Holocaust film at all. It was definitely a cannibal horror. And and it was one of these ones where one of the victims is literally laid in a table and there's a circle thing at the top. And literally he's going whop up like that. And then they sort of carve the head back like that and they all eat, all these posh people are eating it with a spoon and stuff out of
Yeah,
the guy's head in the middle of the table. It was like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
yeah, grim.
Um, no, I remember watching Cannibal Holocaust, but I, I think I've only ever seen one of the other ones they were talking about. Not really, never really my kind of thing.
No, yeah, it's a bit too, yeah,
Um,
for me. I mean, I gave them a go because I'm very open to watching all different types of cinema, but definitely not me. I don't
no,
think, It's like I've
no.
only ever seen I Spit on Your Grave once. I thought, well, I'll watch it once, see if it's any good. And, there's certain films I'd never watch again.
I haven't seen I Spit on Your Grave. I must admit, I haven't
Uh,
seen that one.
well, I'm not going to tell you to not watch it, but I'm not going to. But I would
No, well,
recommend you.
I take people's recommendations with a pinch of salt now because of the fact that I watched uh, of my own volition, and I will admit this, I watched Human Centipede.
Oh dear, yeah, that's
And
one
then
thing. I'm never going to watch Human Centipede alone.
and then somebody said to me, "Oh, you should really watch the second one." So I started watching the second one. I couldn't even get halfway through, and I thought, "Nope, nope, not watching this." And then they brought a third one out, and I thought, "Why?"
Well, it's shock horror, isn't it? Shock horror
Oh,
gore.
yeah, it's sick for the sake of being sick, basically.
And for most of and for, you know, isn't most of it in his imagination anyway? It doesn't even happen.
Oh,
So,
I've
yeah.
kind of tried really hard to blank it out of my memory.
But yeah, I Spit on Your Grave. It's definitely one I'd say watch once and then you can say you've watched it.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't say it's an enjoyable film. I would say, scarred for life more than
fair enough. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's one of these films that you watch it and you go, okay.
The last film I watched on day two is one that we can talk about probably because it's one that I sent you. They sent us a screen
Yes.
for it
That's
to do a more in-depth thing, and it's a new independent film called 45.
hmm.
I really liked this film. It's just trying to think of can't get the wrong bloody page open with them. Hang on. Baz Hancher is the director and the
Hmm.
guy who sent us the screener. Um, I really liked this film. I thought it was a really interesting idea
Yes.
behind it.
And like you say, like there's been a lot of satanic horror stuff, there's been a lot of religious horror stuff lately, but this was definitely stood out for me. And when I was watching it, I was like, okay, this is something new and a bit different. And it freaked me out. There's not many films that actually freaked me out like as a kid, but this it brought back, young Badger going to church and being told not to watch The Exorcist, and then you scurry home and watch it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
scares the bejesus out of you. You know, it brought back memories of like being scared, nameless of The Exorcist.
Yeah,
But
no, I really liked. I mean, I think it's incredibly well made
yes,
for a low budget independent film. I thought it was really good, and the effects and the makeup and that sort of thing were really good.
yeah, and like you say, the monster reveals and things like that were done brilliantly. The practical effects were done great. the killer slash demon that was in it really freaked me out. So congratulations to them for doing that on the shoestring. You know.
Absolutely. And I think, I mean, everybody in it was really good. I mean, they all worked really well. They're all believable characters, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, and it's kind of open for taking on to doing a second film or
Yes, they. I really hope they do because it was left at a point where it was very open ended,
yeah.
and I'm like, come on now, this if you don't make a sequel to this, I'm going to be annoyed because it literally left it as a cliffhanger, you know. I'm
Absolutely,
like,
yeah.
come on now, but yeah, I really liked it. The effects were great. Don't quite know how they managed to pull those off on a limited budget, but kudos to them. Very believable locations in the UK. You know,
Yeah.
you're talking like grimy, sort of like calf, and you know, the church was a very believable place. All the locations were sort of grounded in reality, and I think that really helps it. You know.
It does, yeah, yeah. And I just say, I think the characters that I mean, the actors played their parts really well. They
Yeah.
were all kind of believable in the way they came across, the way that they talked to each other, and that as well. It didn't feel like it was stilted at all.
No. And
No.
obviously, you had like the scenes where you know they were interacting, like you say, it felt natural, and it felt like when you got into the church scene, you know, I wasn't sure. You don't really get that much information about the vicar character, but you couldn't quite tell if he was good or bad to begin with.
Yeah,
And then that was quite a believable, scary scene, and the interactions were good,
yeah, definitely.
and
I
it
definitely,
definitely had that sort of every time there was a new scene, it's like the sense of foreboding ramped up. Have you seen, reminded me of The Ring,
yeah,
how each time it goes onto a different bit, and the closer they get to the solving the mystery, the scarier it gets. And I thought that was good. It
yeah,
was believable. The tension was there, and it was like every time you get closer, you think, "Oh, what's going to happen now?" I liked
absolutely.
that.
I mean, the interesting thing is, I interviewed Andrew Elias, who was the guy who played the priest. I
Yes,
interviewed him the other week on the show, so it was
yes. It seems like a very lovely man. So.
he is very nice to meet him there at the thing as well. So day two, my favourite features were Erica and 45, and I would say Erica and 45 and Severed Road. I would definitely quite happily sit through all of those again.
Mm.
Quite happy to watch all of those again. Favourite shorts were probably Rock Paper Scissors Death, Drive at Dawn, Silent Screams, Forget Me Not, and Ring Ring. So yes, yeah.
Yes, you're a real trooper because you went to see a lot, didn't you?
That was the end of day two. I'll tell you, one year it would be nice to go and watch these films and actually just go and watch them and not sit there to take notes in the dark while I'm doing it. You should see the scribble and scrawl on
Oh,
these
God.
pages.
Yeah, I'll be the one writing the notes instead.
I've written over the top. Some of the reason why I can't read some of these sometimes is because I've written over the top of the same line three
Oh,
times.
bless you.
Yeah. Right. Right. Day three. My films I didn't watch on day three. Rabid from 1977 from David Cronenberg, again, from Canada. I've seen that before. I saw it again many years ago.
Yeah, well, I watched it last night.
All right. Okay. What did you think?
Yeah. It's one of these things where I watched it years ago through, David Cronenberg, body horror, things like that, and watching that whole sort of thing of, and it's really quite gory in its own way,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and it's one of these things where you really feel sorry for her, but then at the same time, she's becoming this vicious, horrendous serial killer, who sort of
Absolutely.
vampirically sucks blood from everyone around her, and it's one of these ones where I really enjoy it because it does make you think. It's this double-edged thing of like, feeling sorry for her at the same time, but then also she's going around killing people and turning people into zombies everywhere.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. No, no.
the
I think they,
effects were quite interesting. I think it's about 20, 30 minutes in, you see the barb that comes out, and the effect of that's quite good. And it's like you were saying, it's a strange one because almost the character is, you can tell that she's nice from the start and all that sort of stuff, and then she almost becomes this evil seductress to get the blood when she wants it. So
yeah. Yeah.
you're very torn on how you feel about the killer and the main characters around you.
I must admit, I went through a thing for a while of loving David Cronenberg films, and I watched loads of them, and then I kind of like stopped watching them for a while, and it has been a
Yes, I'm
while
very
since I've
much the
seen them that
same.
much.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. It's like I'm sort of not really into that sort of thing anymore. But I'm watching it again. I did enjoy it, and I did say to my stepson that they should watch it. Apparently, there's a remake
All right.
2 years ago, but I haven't. That I sort of saw while I was looking it up, and I haven't seen that.
No,
But
all right.
yeah, apparently the remake goes a bit further into the story, so that's going to be interesting. That might be one to watch if you prefer it a bit more fast paced.
Maybe.
Uh,
Yeah.
but I did like the whole grimy feel of the film was great, and it feels like he did that on purpose. Everything's very grimy or clinical, and the music is very old school, 70s,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that adds to it. So
Absolutely. Okay. I didn't watch Hellraiser because I've seen that a number of times.
yes.
The 1986
Mm.
film of Hellraiser, and I also had
Oh,
on there.
with Hellraiser though, it's a bit of a Hellraiser's going to come back in fashion now because there's a new game coming out and it does have the original Pinhead's voiceover in it, so that's an interesting one.
There's supposed to be new versions of Hellraiser being done anyway with different people in it and things. I don't know exactly what's
Mm.
going on with that. But I've seen Hellraiser loads of times. Hellraiser 2 was also on at the festival, and I have never watched, I've never seen that. I will say I've never seen it. I've watched, I think, the first 20 minutes of it about three times.
All right.
Every time I've had it put it on, it's been sort of like ridiculously o'clock in the morning, and I've fallen asleep while I'm watching it. So I think
Oh,
I've watched
dear.
about the first 20 minutes of it. That's about it.
Yeah. Another weird note on Hellraiser, and I don't know if it's still there, but there's this weird meme where someone's put the star in the circle, and
Right.
then it's on top of a bus stop in somewhere in London, and there's all the different VHSs of Hellraiser, and they're all on the different points of the star.
How bizarre.
It is bizarre. Someone just thought it'd be a humorous idea, and it's still there now, apparently.
No idea. Yeah, the next one I didn't see was The Watch Killer, which is a new indie film from the UK. Then Chingaya, I think that don't know how you pronounce it, which means belt. Apparently, it's an Italian film, new indie film which I didn't see. Another new indie film called She's a Bitch, which apparently is the fifth entry in the I See the Dead series. Don't know anything about the first four entries, so I wasn't overly bothered about not seeing that.
Oh, no.
Then there was a film called Cannibal Man, which is part Spanish, part Italian film from 1972.
Okay.
Yeah, don't know. A new indie film called Hang, which I didn't see. Retro feature film from 1987, The Monster Squad.
Ah, yes, that old chestnuts.
Yes, a group of kids who help try to save their hometown from Count Dracula and other collected monsters. Then a new indie film called I Know Exactly How You Die, which is it's about a guy who's a slasher novel writer, and his book starts coming to life. Don't know.
No, it sounds like it's a cup of my tea, though, so I'll have a
Yeah,
look at.
yeah. Then the retro feature, another one that I saw years ago, and I've never watched since, and I'm not sure I'll be that bothered about watching it again. 1989 film Society.
Ah, see, I did watch this because the missus went to me, "What? You gonna watch that?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, yeah," because it was like on the list of films, and I was like, "Well, we could watch it. I'll see what it's like." And by her reaction, I had to watch it. Yeah, so I've seen this in preparation for tonight, and my general explanation is what the cluck and what the hell and all the what there's, and I'm like,
The thing that gets me is
it will make me, I will never see Vaseline in the same light ever again.
it, it kind of starts off as a fairly normal film.
It does. It does. It really feels like it's going to be a generic 80s horror film. And then it turns into high society orgy alien horror. Is probably the best way of putting it.
Well, I mean, the description they've got of it in the booklet, it says an ordinary teenage boy discovers his family is part of a gruesome orgy cult for the social elite. And I don't think
Yeah,
that covers it enough.
I don't think it covers it enough at all because that doesn't explain any of it.
It doesn't explain the heads coming out of the wrong parts of bodies and
Yeah,
things.
they're not really sure if it was like aliens or if it's to do with weird inbreeding or if it's to do with a cult.
Well,
There's lots of different, very open ending things of it, and I find it very bizarre. I probably would watch it again just to try and understand the plot a bit more.
I mean, I might watch it again one day, but it was a while ago since I've seen it. But at the time, I finished watching it and thought, "What?"
Yeah, yeah.
I think when I think when I saw that,
Fantastic. I mean, I'm a big fan of practical effects, so I absolutely adored that. And it did make me really squeamish in certain bits, you
I
know.
mean, I think I must have seen that in about 19. It can't have been much like it must have been about 1990 when it was probably put out on VHS or something.
Okay. See,
So
it does feel like it's it does belong on VHS. That's definitely a VHS film.
yeah, it was a bizarre film.
Yeah, very bizarre. And the way it ends as well. And I'm like, did you think this was going to have a sequel, or did you end it like that on purpose? Because
I do
that's the
want, yeah,
most annoying thing. It's such an anticlimactic ending.
I do think that maybe they thought that they'd get a sequel to it, but nobody wanted to.
They must have, because the way they ended it leads into a sequel, definitely. And if they didn't think they were going to make a sequel, the ending is so nonchalant. Oh
Yeah,
well, let's just go. That literally is what happens. they kill one of the aliens or one of the occultists, and then none of them try to kill him, and then they all just go. And it's like, see you later.
It's like it starts off very ordinary, ends very ordinary, and in the
Yeah.
middle it's just batshit.
They literally, at the end, they go, right, everyone, see you later. You
Yeah,
can't stop us going, as they walk out the door. There's no chase scene. They just don't go after them. And it's like, right,
yeah,
that's a nice end to that then, isn't it? No one, a few people died, but no one really cares. Let's just go, trundle, trundle off.
very strange film.
Yes.
Very strange film. The other feature film I didn't see is a new indie film called Roadkill from the UK,
Right.
which looks like it's probably some kind of slashery type thing. I don't know. The short films I didn't see. There was one called Go Down Dilla,
Okay.
one called Go to Hell, film called The Nature of Death, and the last one, which I would love to have seen just from the title, is called Zombies Assemble. So I don't know if it's don't know what that was, to be honest with you. Be interesting to see what he was.
Hmm.
Now, the films I did see, where are we? I watched a film called ES, which is a kind of seance type thing, nightmares and hypnosis and therapy thrown into it. It's very odd. There are some interesting effects in it, but again, I was very aware of the fact that I was sitting there thinking, is that AI?
Hmm.
Because they looked very smooth effects, and I couldn't make my mind up whether they were just really well done effects or if it was AI.
Hmm.
And I really hate feeling that way.
Yeah, like I said before, I'm sure they have to put it in there now if it is,
Yeah.
you know.
Next film was called God Squad, which was quite funny. It's the idea you got a young vicar and an old drunk vicar who are basically going to places to do things like exorcisms and things like that. It is quite funny.
Oh, right.
It's a bit long, but it is quite funny,
Oh,
especially when they haven't got their cross with any crosses or anything with them. So they go to borrow one from one of the neighbours who is a complete pervert and
yeah.
gives them this cross that every time they held it forward starts making these kind of lewd comments. It's things like, "Oh, you want to see a second coming? I'll show you a second coming."
Oh no.
Things like that. It is quite funny. I did like that one. Uh,
Yeah.
and we've
I-
got
I'm getting lesbian vampire killer brighter
yeah,
as vibes on
yeah.
that one. Oh
There's
dear.
a film called Tragedium,
Right.
which was uh, hmm, it was odd and made even more odd by the fact that again there were no subtitles and it wasn't in English. It was starts off with a news report about an alien abduction and an investigation being done into it. It looked quite funny from the things that people were doing, but I had no idea what they were talking about. So I can't say whether or not it was funny or not.
Okay.
Uh, there was a film called Quarantine, which there was the guy who made this, the guy called Russ Emanuel, and I've interviewed him on the show, and we reviewed the full film that was done from this, which was called Staycation.
Okay.
Um, very very good. It's kind of like you get a news report about and an interview about the kind of COVID type thing, and then there's like this boyfriend and girlfriend talking over Zoom. Uh, that was quite good and it's quite interesting. I did like that. Um, the next one was called Don't Watch This. Uh, it was interesting because it's a woman. She's on a car in the phone. She's on her phone in the car. She's being watched, and she starts seeing things. She's going to the camera, and then it's like we're watching her, and she knows she's being watched by
Okay.
us.
Mm.
Very interesting. It was very. Mm.
Mm.
Uh, then there was a film called Mr. Vertigo, which was quite good. It's about this guy who's losing senses. He starts having no feeling of hot and cold and things like this. Turns out he's got a brain tumor. Um, but all the way through it, he's being supported by this girlfriend who doesn't actually exist,
Oh, okay.
which is quite interesting. Then there was a short film called The Body Is Watching Me. Really did like it.
Yeah.
It was this. There's some great visuals. It's kind of like it was in black and white, but there were bits of it where she was kind of like having these images in their head which were in bright red. Really,
Oi.
they really work well.
Mm.
And it's basically about her. The elderly father has died, and she keeps seeing his body on the floor, watching her
Ooh.
wherever she goes.
Yeah, pretty spooky then.
Yeah, it was really good. Then there was another film I really liked called Dana,
Mm.
Darner. I will be interviewing the two people who were involved in this film uh, at some point. It's about it's this woman's sort of like her husband. The man's in bed, obviously not well.
Mm.
Woman is sitting by the side of the bed darning socks, and then he wakes up and she goes over to him and she pulls the covers back and she's been patching him up, darning his wounds to
Mm.
keep him going because she doesn't want to let him go.
No, no. Interesting. Okay. Mm.
It's very good. I really
Yeah.
did like it.
Mm.
The next film is a feature film called Brawling Rectory: The Awakening.
Right.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Brawling Rectory is supposedly one of the most haunted places in the UK.
Mm.
And this is supposedly about the origins of all that. The cast of this was interesting. There were a lot. This is an new independent film. Um, there were a lot of new, young, independent actors and actresses in it, but it also had Julian Glover, Patsy Kensit, Helen Lederer, Vicky Michelle, and Mark Wingett in it.
Oh, okay. That's an odd mix, isn't
It
it?
is an odd mix, and the thing about it is there's some really good acting in it, which you would expect from people who are seasoned, well-honed actors.
Hmm.
But the problem with that is it shows up some of the less accomplished acting of the
Hmm.
people who are not
See, that's
well-honed,
a real
seasoned.
shame, isn't it? But hopefully that will elevate, the seasoned actors will elevate the film in order to help the young ones.
I mean, it's got some good, decent jump scares and some good makeup effects. It's an okay ghost story, but it's nothing special.
Mm.
It's not really got anything that lifts it above being a decent ghost story,
Mm.
you know. Um,
Which
there
is
were
a shame because obviously we want British horror to, elevate up, don't we?
absolutely. The one thing I had a problem with in this, and I'm trying not to, I try not to be sexist with things, but this was set the late 1800s, early 1900s. The lady of the house, played by Patsy Kensit, is taken ill.
Right.
She's taken to her bed. The family doctor is not available because they've been out doing house calls or something somewhere else. So they have another doctor looking after her. And then the family doctor turns up
Mm.
and says, I'm here now, I'll take over. The thing that gets me is the fact that both of them were female. Now, I'm not sure that in the late 1800s, early 1900s, you would have two female doctors do it as kind of GPs.
Mm.
It just didn't quite. I wouldn't have thought they would have. I would have thought they would have been more likely to be men.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of these things where it's like if they'd have had one female doctor and then maybe one male, or maybe had the female doctor as the assistant or learning or something like that. That would be a bit more believable, I feel, for that time period.
Yeah,
It's like an assistant sort of thing. But
yeah.
yeah, I get what you're trying to say. Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I don't have a problem with there being female doctors because there are female doctors, but in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there weren't that many.
No, I don't think so.
I wouldn't have thought. So not in general
Please,
practice.
please, for the love of goodness, if we're wrong, correct us in the comments.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean,
100%.
but I don't know.
Mm.
I then watched a feature film called Manor of Darkness, which is
Ooh, sounds good.
yeah, I really, really liked this. Guy who made this called Blake Ridder. We have reviewed four, possibly five of his short films before, and I was really looking forward to this because I thought I really want to see what he does with a feature film. It starts with a group of people, and there are lots of backstories for every single person, and we kind of feel that there's too many stories, and it's all starting to clash. And yeah, but then they kind of come together. So, and you forget about the backstories to a large extent, but
Mm.
those people come together, and it all kind of starts working as a story. It's a really clever idea. It's basically a ghost story,
Mm.
but it also incorporates a kind of time loop element.
Okay.
Um, really well written. There's some great humor. It's a little bit odd, the humor, but it's funny because it's odd. It kind of works because it's the kind of silly thing that you do when you're in a kind of like, in a situation you don't know how to cope with. You kind of like say or do things that are a little bit kind of odd or whatever, but they
Mhm.
work really well. There's a great twists. There are great twists in it, and I really liked it. I thought it was a really good film.
Mhm.
So anyway, anyone out there, Manor of Darkness, if you see it anywhere, I really would recommend going to see it.
Mhm.
Okay, I am going to talk a bit about this one, but I will come back to this a bit when I come to the next day. But
Mhm.
okay. The next film I saw was called Spoiling You.
Mhm.
This is from Hex Studios and the British Horror Studio, who are the people who've taken on taken on the mantle of Amicus, who made a lot of horror films around the same time as Hammer.
Mhm.
Um, this has got Lawrence Harvey in it, who has been in lots of horror films, things. It's also the main star is Megan Tremithick, who is she's kind of like the lead actress for the British Horror Studio films. She's good, and she's good at what she does, and she has a very striking look about her.
Mhm.
Um, they have three films on at the festival, and each one had a kind of performance art bit before the film, which
Okay.
kind of settles the audience down before you start watching the film. It was interesting the way it was done, bit odd. Um, this film is about an ASMR online woman who does this ASMR stuff and that sort of thing, and she has all her followers and all this kind of thing. And this guy wins a competition to meet her. It gets very dark and really kind of like they end up in a dungeon, and the there are problems with all of the films that I had. One of the problems I had with all of them is the fact that the music was always a little bit louder than I think it needed to be.
Mm.
Um, but otherwise, it's an interesting idea and an interesting story. It's got a few twists and that sort of thing. Um, it's a slightly disturbing story in a few ways, and it kind of like it's a bit plays with your mind a bit, and it's a bit like I'm really not sure I like what's going on here. And there's a lot of oddness to it and a bit of gore, which it kind of works. And it is a very odd. It's a very odd film, but it's a very British oddness,
Ah, okay, yeah,
you know,
yeah, I know what you
which
mean.
I kind of liked about it.
Yeah.
I liked it. I really liked this film. I thought it was really good. It was the best of the three films that they had on the festival for me.
Ah, yeah. I am looking forward to a bit of a resurgence in British horror. I hope we get it soon. You know,
Well,
a lot of it's been very American lately, and it'd be good to have some, spooky British stuff coming up.
we've got a lot of British people making independent horror films, and it's just a matter of getting them into the mainstream, getting them those films sort of like shown around more, and more people being able to see them, which is what we really need. There was a short film on with that which I loved, which is called Night Shift at Ned's. It's a small cafe in the middle of nowhere, and this woman goes to work there,
Mm.
and she's taken on to do the night shift. And basically, what she doesn't get told is the fact that the night shift there entails them basically protecting themselves from demons
Oh, okay.
from coming into the
Yeah.
thing. So they have to put a line of salt around the doors and all this kind of thing. But she sweeps it up so the demons can get in. It is good. There's some great music, great
Yeah.
makeup on it. It's very funny. I did like it, and some great sound effects and stuff. I really thought it was funny.
It does remind me of some of the horror stories that you see on on Facebook and stuff now. I suppose they're like digital creepy pastas now about you know, it's that whole thing of like working in the abandoned hospital. Someone still owns the hospital, so they still need someone to man it at night time and all that sort
Yeah,
of, yeah.
yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of that sort of stuff going around. And that is quite fun when you watch it. So
Well,
it's good
I mean, the fun thing with this is the
those
fact
in the films.
the guy who runs the place is drunk most of the time. The other staff haven't been told that she hasn't been trained,
Oh,
and she doesn't know what's going on. So it's kind of like quite funny from that. Um, okay, the next feature film I saw, which is the last feature film of the day for this day, um, I chose to watch it purely because of the title.
okay.
It's called Dracula in Space. I know.
Oh,
Um,
brilliant, brilliant.
and the thing about it was that it was an interesting idea. You got the spaceship, which is called the Demeter.
Obvious nod to the ship.
Yeah, they find a derelict ship, which they investigate, and it's got um, a coffin in it, basically, that they take on their ship. They don't know it's a coffin, and inside the coffin, of course, is Dracula.
Oh.
Character names are a nod back to the original as well, because the captain is called Harker, and one of the others. Oh, there's an AI sort of like not an AI, a artificial sort of person,
Mm.
and the
Like
one
a
on
synthetic type thing.
yeah, and the one that was on the ship that was derelict was called Renfield.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so things like that. And you find out at the end that this Dracula is. Yeah, I thought, oh well, they've just taken the Dracula story and they've booted it up to the 24th century or something, but you find out that he is actually the same Dracula,
Mm.
and yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It's like
background music again.
it seems like it's a spin on like Dracula 2000. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, no, yeah. But the problem with this is the fact that what it needed was a good bit of comedy
Mm.
sewn into the mix, and it didn't have that. It had one bloke who cracked a few jokes that weren't funny, and it was mentioned that these jokes weren't funny. So
No.
it kind of takes it away from it. It just kind of took itself too seriously.
Oh, okay, that's
It
a
was,
shame because the whole concept of that is very hammy.
yeah, absolutely.
They should have run with the comedy side of it.
But I mean, the thing that gets me is it's,
Is it one of these things where they were trying for a comedic? It was like a double bluff, comedic title, serious film.
yeah, I don't know. But I mean, the thing is, you got the whole Dracula story, or part of the Dracula story being reenacted effectively. But you've also got the kind of alien part, which is where they go to this abandoned spaceship and they find this, which looks thing that looks like an egg, which they take back on board the ship. Um, but then you've also got a thing where they have to test each other to see whether or not they've been turned into vampires,
Okay.
which kind of reminded me a bit of the thing where they test everybody's blood to see
Oh,
who is.
right.
Do you know what I mean? So it kind of had a few elements of a few different stories all linked together,
Okay.
but it all was a bit kind of for what it was. I mean, it had a budget look, it had a budget feel,
Right.
but it needed a bit of humour to get you past that,
Mm.
and it didn't have that.
It's a shame. It's a
Yeah, it
shame.
was a real pity. I think they kind of missed out on that, really.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes you do find that they'll miss the mark.
yeah,
Sometimes I watch and I think this has got too much humour in. Dial the humour back. But obviously, there's other occasions where it needs more.
yeah. So yeah, the features that I found I liked on that were Manor of Darkness and Spoiling You, and then the short films were God Squad, Quarantine, Mr. Vertigo. I liked The Body Is Watching Me, Dana, and The Night Shift at Ned's. We're on to the last day, Gun Day, as they call it. Uh, I can try and see what I'm doing here. So the films that's the orange. The films I didn't see on this day features were The Bride of Frankenstein, which is a new indie feature from the UK, which I would like to have seen actually, but it was on the same time as all the short films which I wanted to see. Bannister Doll Heist, which is a new um, independent film from the UK. They Wait in Shadows, which is a new independent film from the UK. Where are we? Beyond the Witching Hour,
Mm.
which again is a new independent film from the UK. Then we had a retro. Oh no, new independent film called The House on Liderman Street,
Mm.
which is again the UK. New independent film called The Observance from America. Then a film called The Red Mask, which is a new independent film from the USA. And then Charlie Shaw's Revenge, which was a new independent film from the UK. And the mystery film, which was on that day, which was Scared to Death, which I didn't see either. Right. The films I did see. Short films on this. There was a film called Very Prosperous Men,
Okay.
which was kind of like it was kind of like the kind of the devil as it was a cowboy, sort of like people were doing things, and then he was saying, "Right, your soul now belongs to me. You have to do my bidding and stuff." It was quite good.
Mm.
Um, then there was a thing called Forgive Me, which is it's a woman who is being followed by what looks like a waitress from a Chinese restaurant. And it turns out to be the ghost of her mother.
Oh, okay.
That
Interesting.
was quite interesting. A film called Marion's Lilies, which is about a woman who gets attacked, I think, by a vampire. I couldn't quite work it out. And her husband is kind of trying to find out who killed her. It's long and slow for a short film, and the obsession of finding her murderer drives him slowly mad. It's okay.
Mm.
Um, I thought, yeah, it's all right, but it's a bit too long for me for what it was doing. Then we had Better Anything, which is
Mm.
it's quite interesting. It's a man. This guy's burying a body in the woods, and there's a woman there talking to him, and they're arguing. Um, Basically find out that he's killed her, and that's her body he's burying. So interesting. Good film called Square Peg. This was funny.
Mm.
This guy turns up. He's either a vampire or a ghoul or something like that because he can't go out in the daytime.
Mm.
He comes home and says he's got a bag full of treats. It's a fridge. It's got body parts in it,
Oh, okay.
kind of thing. And he goes into the living room, and the person he's talking to is in the house is just a head on a chair, and he gives him a bowl of thumbs or toes. It's odd, but it's kind of like they have this kind of soul-searching conversation
Right. Oh,
about, are they really, there's good, are they really a good person they want to be, and is life as meaningful as it should be? And
all that sort of stuff. Oh,
it's odd but good.
yeah.
Got Blood Buzz, which is a strange film about a teenager who thinks that people are being turned into giant bugs, and her brother comes looking for her. She goes to this farmhouse. Her brother comes looking for her, and it turns out she's right.
Mm.
Um, a film called Mr. Average, which was quite interesting. It's a guy and a woman meet up in a bar, and he says and does a few things which she says, "Oh, that's funny. I remember somebody else being into that or liking that sort of thing." It turns out that he's all of the spirits of her murder victims that she's kind of chatted up as boyfriends and then killed, all kind of like amalgamated into one person.
Okay.
Which is quite.
Interesting. I like that idea.
Then there's this kind of comedy thing called Voodoo Party. These three people make voodoo dolls, and there's two women and a bloke, and the bloke's a bit of a twat, but it ends up through no fault of their own, they will end up dying because the dog takes one of these voodoo dolls and runs off with it. And uh, while they're trying to get it back, they do things like one of them gets run over by a car, and one of the dolls gets run over by a car. I think a candle lands on one of them and starts and sets it on fire, and
Oh,
good fun.
yeah.
Uh, and then I had, let me see what we got. Uh, short film called Monitus, which is it's based on Norse mythology. It starts at the beginning about a quote from Norse mythology about destiny, and it's some teenagers who are arguing about something they did in the past that was, a bad thing and all that kind of thing. And then she starts thinking she's seeing these things in the wood and sort of attacks because they're going to attack her, so she kills them. And it turns out she's killed all of her friends.
Very, I know what you did last summer then.
Yeah, kind of. Uh, and we got a thing called Umbra, which is strange thing about this little girl, young girl listening to this Walkman, which has got odd sounds on it, and she keeps seeing this figure moving. And it turns out she's listening to something which is supposed to help you commune with the dead. And yeah,
Mm.
and they try to communicate with their dead family through it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like all that sort of idea, when they have that sort of weird way of communicating with the dead and stuff. I do like that.
Um,
I
and
don't know if you've ever messed about doing the ghost hunting stuff, but it can be quite freaky.
I haven't. I must admit, I have to declare myself as a ardent skeptic.
Yes.
All of
Yeah.
that stuff. Uh, it's never been something that I've ever really believed in, and I've never
Mm.
really bothered with. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
then I was actually on a ghost hunt once, and it was on. It's the evidence is there on the show, on my channel, and literally the ghost actually says, "Donate to the show."
Oh, that's
you
fair
know,
enough. I wouldn't mind
and
that.
I'm like, the spirit realm of time.
I'd be quite happy with that idea.
Yeah, honestly, it's literally a ghost came through and went donate to the show. Everyone, you can't make it up.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
The next film was called Haunted Henry.
Oh, okay.
I bet you can't guess what this was about.
Yes. Oh, interesting. Interesting.
It's a young woman who's taken on as a cleaner in an office, and there's a cleaning cupboard that's locked, and
Oh,
no, you never go in there. But she decides to open it up, and inside there is a Henry the Hoover
okay.
that attacks her because it is possessed.
Okay. I love it. I love it.
It's quite funny and quite good. There's one called A Good Death, which interestingly has got a woman in it who was in the TV series 911.
Oh, okay.
Uh, she goes to this woman's house to help the aged mother transition across to the
Mm.
other side. But then the aged mother doesn't want to transition across to the other side. She wants to take over her body.
Oh, spooky stuff then.
Yeah, it's quite good.
Mm.
There's one called Undertone, which is about a guy who's a Foley artist. Do you know what a Foley artist is?
Yeah, is it to do with the microphones and stuff?
It's to do with making sound effects for films.
Yes. Oh, when they chop up the watermelons and stuff, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah. So
yeah, I know, yeah, yeah.
he's doing that, and he hears these strange noises, which turn out to be Morse code messages in the recordings that he's making. It's a
Mm.
bit long, but it's quite interesting in what it is.
I think I'd like to see that one actually. Yeah, that one sounds quite good. What was that called again?
Uh, that's a good question. I can't remember now. Undertone.
I'll have to write that down. Yeah.
Then we got a film called Chimp. I went to see Primate the other
I,
week, so I thought, oh, is this going to be something like that? But
mm,
it's interesting. It starts off with some kind of strange, almost satanic imagery at the start of it. Um, and this girl goes is at home, and there's a person in a chimp mask trying to get into the house. It's a bit odd and a bit surreal and quite bizarre. Looks great. But
Yeah.
all I wrote down here is looks great, but what the fuck is going on?
Sounds a bit purgy to me, like the purge.
Yeah, I couldn't quite work out who he was supposed to be or what it. I don't know. Then you've got Exhibit B, which the couple filming themselves on an anniversary hike. They're both a bit acting a bit odd,
Mm.
um, and she uh, he proposes and she accepts. And, it gets odder as they go to this hostel, and things get even more odd. It's kind of found footage style of thing. But it's a bit paranormal activity, a bit Blair Witch. It's kind of some of it looks found footage, some of it doesn't. Um, and then she goes mad, basically.
Oh,
And
fantastic. Oh,
and
oh, you better look.
so
Yeah.
yeah, as I say, that's called Exhibit B. So uh, then we got any last words. I found this quite interesting. It's a murderer being interviewed by a woman psychiatrist.
Okay.
And at first, I thought it was multiple personality disorder, but it turns out that uh, this guy is taking revenge for his son's suicide. But so in order to do that, he kind of has become in his head the people that he's killed.
Oh, okay. Mm.
So yeah, quite interesting.
Mhm.
Um,
That reminds me of a film ages and ages ago, and I don't remember the name of it. I'll have to look it up. But it was where literally it's like each one of the different people he kills are part of his own personality in his head. There's a big twist at the end that, he's sort of like, he's almost like, you think he's killed all these people, but really he hasn't. He's just trying to destroy his own, like, sort of multiple personalities.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen a couple of films like that.
Mm.
Then there was a film called Well-Being, which is I kind of felt was more sci-fi than horror. It was a kind of anti-AI film, which I have no problem with whatsoever. Um, it's basically the idea is that you have AI loaded into your brain to make you uh, kind of happier. But in order to do that, you've got to kill yourself. It's kind of anti-AI and anti-big corp sort of thing. But interesting, it's Kevin McNally made the film, and he's got a cameo in it at the end of it as well.
Mm.
So that was quite interesting. Then there was a film called A Night at Mulgrave Manor, which was a guy got a terminal illness, and he goes with his girlfriend to her family, where her family live. He's a doctor.
Mm.
So is her father, and they live in the clinic where her father works. Um, and it turns out that they use people's bloods to keep them alive and going. So it's their family secret. So they're not they're kind of vampires, but they don't just sort of drink the blood as such. They sort of like siphon the blood off people and
Okay.
and use it. And she wants to turn him into one of them, basically.
Mm.
Um, there was a thing on the last day which is called Hexagon,
Right.
which was the first three parts of a series sort of thing. I missed the first two, but I saw the third one. It's set in 1979. The uh, top secret team basically to uh, hunt sort of the supernatural and alien things in the world.
Mm.
Um, but as I missed the first two, I didn't really get the third one. But it looked interesting, and it looks like it could be good. It's a new independent sort of thing that's being done. I don't know if it's going to be done uh, on online
Oh, okay.
or what it is really, to be honest. But there you go. Short film with subtitles called Alice, My Alice, which starts with an odd guy talking to a girl at a party. Um, they get together and end up living together, and they don't seem to be happy, even though they're living together, and for no reason. It's very odd. He starts going manky and everything, and she finds him in the bath looking very dead, and then he
Mm,
comes back to life again, tries to attack her.
weird.
Yes, very. Uh,
Yeah.
right, I'm going to go through a short film first called Bear. Uh, a woman is watching a home video of maybe that sort of thing and looking at old pictures. There's a child calling in the other room. She goes in, the child saying there's a monster, and the mother tries to calm him down. But in the corner of the room, there is this absolutely enormous set of teeth
Okay.
and what seems to be some legs with feet, shoes on
Right.
underneath them. Don't understand. Then it goes to when they're older and the woman's still watching the same videos. The boy, who is now a man, comes in with shopping. He starts seeing some very odd things and she dies. And the teeth are still in the background.
That's weird.
And then, because she dies, he commits suicide.
Okay.
Yeah, not quite sure,
No.
but
Sounds quite bizarre.
yes.
Yeah.
Right, okay. The next thing I'm going to say, okay, I watched two feature films by British Horror Studios and Hex Studios on this day. Okay, I'm going to be going to try not to be too. I don't know. Anyway, right.
I know what you mean.
The
Yep.
first one is called Mr. Whispers.
Right.
Starts off with kind of like a documentary about missing children, found footage film type of thing, and these
Is it leaning more towards Slender Man? Is it trying to do Slender Man also?
no, these kids have gone missing from a cinema,
Mm.
but they've gone missing like 10 years, 20 years apart, but on the same date. So they go to the cinema where it's happened. This group of people who are making this kind of like podcasty documentary type thing. Um, okay, I'll put that in. As with most found footage films, for me,
Mm.
it's too slow, too long, not enough of anything is going on.
I'll absolutely love it then.
There's a few jump scares.
Yeah.
There's some odd changes of character for the people. They kind of like suddenly do things that I think, well, that doesn't really fit in with the character that you've been saying, the person you
Um,
say you are.
for some reason, that does happen a lot in found footage, and I think they use it as a scare tactic. So I've seen a lot of found footage, and it happens a lot where all of a sudden the character or the main character, their whole personality just changes, and then they go back to normal, and then yeah, it even happens in Blair Witch,
Yeah,
and that's what they're sort of, don't want to say copying, but inspired by it. A lot of time it happens in a lot of these found footage films where I think it's used as like a jump scare or some sort of way of aggravating the viewer because you're not sure what's going on. It's that whole thing of are they possessed or not?
yeah, yeah. I get that. I mean, I mean, this whole thing is not really my kind of thing. The ending for me was a bit didn't really, it was an interesting idea, but it didn't really. It for me, it wasn't much more than that. Okay, the next film I saw was also from them, from British Horror Studio. and this was called Black Chariot. It's a black and white film made to look like it's 40s, 50s, that,
Okay.
that sort of thing. Again, music was a little bit overpowering for me.
Yeah, you do find that. I did find that in 45, actually. That was the only thing that sort of got me with that one. I love that film, as we talked about. But I think that's the problem with a lot of independent films. They don't know when to dial down the soundtrack. I don't know if it's the software they're using. I certainly know that it's very hard to do it on the phones. You
Yeah,
can get if you're working from a phone and you're editing a film, it's very hard to judge how loud the music actually is. It's
yeah, no,
a
no, yeah.
problem.
I mean, this for me, I found this film a little bit confusing in places, and some of it to me makes very little sense. It's a well-made film that looks excellent, but I think it's just the story in this is too confused and it's got a jumbled storyline that in some places seems almost meaningless. And even as the story moves on and develops, it kind of still seems quite confusing and even feels like it's confused,
Mm,
like it doesn't know where it's going. Um, and to an extent, I this film for me is it's kind of I don't know, art noir.
mm.
It's kind of style over content.
No, which is a shame, really, isn't it?
Um, I mean, don't get me wrong. I fully applaud what the British Horror Studio are doing. They are putting out British independent horror films, and they are doing a mix of styles. I mean, the three films that they had on there were all completely different style films. Um, and I'm sure there is a market for them, but
Mm,
for me, only one of them kind of worked, and that was worked mainly because it was so very odd. It was the oddness of spoiling you that really made it work. The other two just kind of, for me, didn't. I would like to see a film. I'd like to see them do a horror film that has got a straightforward storyline that's got a lot of good ideas, but it just goes from one place to another and has an ending. Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? It,
I know what you mean. It's
it, a lot of this just seems like jumbles of ideas that don't really go anywhere. There are some great ideas and some great moments in all of these films, but for me, they just don't work as well as a coherent narrative story.
yeah. I mean, sometimes they're trying too hard to make you think, and there's probably little bits that make sense, and you'd have to like dive in it with a tooth comb to see. You
I
know.
mean, I look forward to what they're going to do because I mean, they were saying that they've got another 8 films
Yeah.
are all in various stages of production. And most of them have been filmed. They're in post. Some of them are in post production, ready to be put out. Some of them are not quite there at that point yet. But but I'm very interested to see what they do, especially because of the fact they're working with Amicus,
Yeah.
and Amicus did some absolutely brilliant anthology films in the sort of in the 80s and that, which 70s and 80s, which I absolutely love.
Perhaps you have
Um,
to watch all of them for to make sense. Maybe we have to play the long game on this one.
yeah, I don't know. I just think I mean they are doing it so that they're doing a variety of different styles of film, which I applaud because of the fact that there is a vast market out there, and nobody likes to. You're not going to find. You could put a dozen people in a room and show them a dozen films, and you could have like one person will like one and not like any of the others. It's so. I mean, if they putting these films out and each one of them being slightly different, having a different sort of feel to it, I think
Mm.
it's not necessarily a bad idea.
No.
but I think that I would just like to see a good, straightforward narrative story made well with good effects and good acting. Because the acting is brilliant, the effects are good, and they look fantastic. But for me, the stories are just kind of lost.
Which is a real shame, I feel.
It is. It's a big shame, and I mean, I don't like saying that anything's bad because I don't think it is. I
Mm.
don't think anything they did was bad. I just think that they need to look at where the direction that the stories are going in, and are they telling a story, or is it just a jumble of ideas?
Mm.
You know,
Which is you can fall into that trap as a filmmaker quite easily.
absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't see any field features on the last day that I would say were favourites. Shorts I liked Forgive Me, Square Peg, Voodoo Party, Wellbeing, and A Night in Moorgrave Manor.
Mm.
Uh, no. The On the last day there were awards given out,
Mm.
and you can get a full list of these awards on the Romford Horror Film Festival YouTube and Facebook
Ah.
place. Best feature was shared by House of Abraham and Hang. Uh, Best short film was The Quackening, which I didn't see. Uh, I didn't see, but there you go. Best foreign language international film was shared by Debone and the one that means the belt. She I can't remember how to pronounce it now. Anyway, best cinematography again was shared by Very Prosperous Men and Marion's Lilies. Best cheap thrill was Rock Paper Scissors Death and Sweet Tooth. Best screenplay was won by I Know Exactly How You Died. Best visual effects was shared between The Pearl Comb and Charlie Shaw's Revenge.
Mm.
Visual effects in a short film was won by Chicken Feed. Best score was Shutter Ghost and Spoiling You. Best director was for The Pearl Comb. Best student film was The Second Coming. Shouldn't see. Best actor was for The Pearl Comb. Best actress was House of Abraham, which was Lynn Shay.
Mm.
Grindhouse Award went to Evil for Dinner. And the best director debut was for Megan Tremithick for Spoiling You.
Mm.
So, yeah. I mean, I think for the whole festival, I would say Severed Road, Erica and Manor of Darkness, and 45,
Mm.
my favourite features. Shorts were Mormon's Guide to Home Invasion, Pearl Comb, Forget Me Not, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Death, Dana, Night Shift at Ned's, and Forgive Me, probably. But there were as I say, there were lots of other things there. There were people. I will put links to these up. There was Red Cape Publishing were there. A guy called the Film Butcher, who does film posters. He has hundreds of different film posters, not all of them horror, but all sorts of things. There was a thing, Cute Ghoul Gifts,
Mm.
horror themed earrings and key fobs and all that kind of thing. There's a guy there, Mind Magic Studios, Steve,
Mm.
who was well the whole weekend he was sitting at a desk making a mask
Oh.
because that's what he does.
Mm.
And there was also, I haven't got the card with me at the moment. There was a guy there from his company's called Lawn of the Dead,
Okay.
and they make handmade garden ornaments that are all
Wow.
horror themed. Absolutely brilliant. All
Nice.
sorts of things, some really good stuff. Tombstones and hands coming out of graves, and
Perfect for this Halloween then.
yes, demon gnomes and all sorts of things like that.
Oh, awesome.
So
But you had a great time, buddy. Hopefully, I'll be able to join you in the coming years.
yeah, I mean it was really good this year. I mean it was a bit I know that it was a bit difficult for him because Spencer, bless him, has not been well. So
Mm.
he had to kind of fight through that to things. Plus the fact that they've just been, I mean, they've now set up as a charity running the consortium running the cinemas instead of it being run by a specific sort of like company. So they're kind of like self-funding. So, you know, but yeah, you get things like you can get membership
Mm.
there, which you get discounts on film tickets, and you get discounts on food and drink,
Mm.
things like that. So it's worth looking into. It's the Lumiere Cinema in Romford,
Mm.
and they have a lot of good stuff on as apart from the horror film festival. They've got the normal film festival, which is coming up in May, I think it is,
Mm.
and they normally do a horror weekend, a horror day on the normal film festival. They also do things like they have themed days and they show retro films there, and they do art and craft workshops there and all sorts of things like that. So they're definitely worth looking at and seeing what's going on there.
Mm. Indeed. Well, it's been fun as always, mate.
Yeah, it's been fun. We will be back with a normal episode next time. We'll be doing science fiction again next time. Actually, it's really weird. I'm not going to do it. We're not going to do a proper report back on it for the show, but I might mention something about it. It's the fact that I'm going to see Scream 7 tomorrow with Charlie.
Yeah. Oh, so am I. I'm going to go and see Scream 7
Oh,
tomorrow.
right. We can have a chat about that next week,
100%.
in amongst doing the other stuff.
I probably will do a review for my own channel, but we'll definitely do a joint.
We'll just do a quick chat
as well.
We'll do a chat about it before we do the full reviews for next week.
100%. I'm looking forward to it. Yes,
all right, mate.
Doing my notepad.
Well, thank you, Badger. It's been great talking to you and having
great, always great, and thank you for sharing all the stuff because I wish I was there. Hopefully, next year I'll be able to join you in person.
Yes, let's hope so.
Indeed.
All right. Thank you to everyone for watching. Like, subscribe, and do all the things like that, and pass it around social media and stuff like that. This will be going out as a full 4-day review, but I will split it into individual shows for each day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be like 2.5 hours long.
Indeed. Yeah. Am I right to do a personal plug?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent. Well, my partner's new film is out on the channel now called Wifecraft. Please do check it out. That was purely done by my partner, all her ideas, and of course I just was along for the show. So there you go. So it's that was purely done by my missus. Cool. So please write a little review if you can, guys, and pop onto Brawling Badger Productions and send us a little review.
I will put a link to Brawling Badger Productions as I do every episode, so that people can go and check them out.
Yeah, please do put a nice little review of Wifecraft, and the director's cut will be out in a couple of weeks because the missus didn't like my editing, so I'm going to do it again.
With extra deleted scenes.
Yes, more housework.
All right. Thanks a lot, Badger.
No worries.
Everybody out there. We'll see you later. Bye.
See you later, everyone. Bye.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.